my presentation is on the Seventh-day Adventist, and it was super interesting to learn about and fun. But so, just the brief history. Ellen G. White was the one that found it, and she was the main influencer for the church, and still is to this day. And she was considered a prophet and a spiritual leader. She also found it with Joseph Bates James and Andrews, and they just found it in Michigan in 1863, but now the church is worldwide, so it's everywhere, and they are started as a denomination, and they formed in the 1840s, but now, during the wave of the revivalism of the Second Great Awakening in the U.S., they became the worldwide church, so all over, everywhere. So they have 28 fundamental beliefs in their core teachings, and I'm just going to go through each of the 28 teachings and kind of talk about each one, but basically this is what they follow, and they follow it with faith, and they just, this is like their main teachings. But the first one is the teachings of law, and it's basically them following the 10 Commandments, which is continue to be binding upon Christians. So they are Christian, and they believe in the 10 Commandments just as most, or I guess every Christian church does, but that is a big thing that they follow is the 10 Commandments. Teaching of the Sabbath day, they believe that it's on the 7th day, but for them, the Sabbath day for them is Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, which I thought was super interesting, and I learned a lot about because I thought it was just Saturday for them, but I didn't know that Friday sunset was included. So, and then on Sundays they leave observance for like Bible reading and stuff like that. So, the second coming and end times, they believe that Jesus Christ will return during a time of trouble, and it will be followed by a millennial reign of the saints in heaven. So I think a lot of Christians believe in this, that Jesus Christ will be coming back, and that's when people will be saved. But something that is different about Seventh-day Adventists is they believe in the state of the dead, which is instead of you dying, they just believe that you are in an unconscious sleep, and they know as the soul sleep, and they reject the idea of an immortal soul. So instead of you just dying, they just believe that you're just in that sleep, which I thought was interesting. Conditional immortality, they believe that instead of there being like a hell, that you just are permanently destroyed. So the wicked, they don't just go sent down the hell, their souls just completely destroyed. Just like other Christian churches, they believe in the great controversy, which is between Christ and Satan, or Lucifer, where they fought in heaven, and Lucifer rebelled against the law of God, and Christ saved. So that's a big one of their beliefs. Heavenly sanctuary, where they believe that in 1844, that's when Christ began his cleansing of the heavenly sanctuary and the fulfillment of the Day of Atonement. So in 1844, that's when he started his atonement. Judgment and investigate, basically God is going to judge you and for what you did on this earth. And again, they believe this is happening in 1844, and that's where in the Bible it talks about it, and they practice that belief. Remnant, they teach that there will be an end time, and in the Revelations 14:6-12, they talk about these 3 angels coming and saving those who keep the commandments. And so I thought it was interesting. That's why the 3 pictures of the angels, but I thought it was interesting that they used the 3. So, spirit of prophecy, again, this is where they think Ellen G. White was a prophet, and she had that spirit of prophecy where she could talk to God and tell the truth, and she mainly did it all through the Bible, and that's where she got her source. And so they follow a lot of what Ellen G. White said in the Bible. And that was basically their teachings. It definitely was all 28, but it was the ones that summarized it. But their lifestyle is pretty normal. It's just like any other person. They have a strict diet, and they're very healthy. They don't have any alcohol or tobacco, but something that's different from them is that they stick to a very strict vegetarian diet, and there's been evidence shown that they live longer because of their diet and because they're so healthy. But so I thought it was interesting. Challenges and contributions. I feel like this is a lot with a lot of churches, but one of their challenges is seeing people leave the church. And right here it says the loss is in the range of 50 to 75% of the number who join the church each year. And to me, that feels like a super high percentage. But yeah, so that's one of the things that they are challenged with is people that leave the church each year. Their worldwide view, they are considered both restorationist and conservative Protestant. And I thought it was interesting that they gain, every 23 seconds worldwide, they gained a member, which is 3,719 every day, which I thought was cool that it was that rapid of growing. But yeah, you can see that this is what they believe in and what they're considered. And anyways, in the news, there were a few that I added into this, and they talk about how there are a lot of baptisms happening in Africa, and that's where they are being able to have a lot of people join their church, and so that was a pretty big news things for them. Another one is Andrews University is committed to their mission, and that's like their university for their church, and so just building a better school for them. This guy named Roger Keaton has talked about how he wants change in the church, and that was a big thing in the news, and how he feels like church members should be able to grow their education, and just kind of like what they want to do now to help Seventh-day Adventists grow more in the church. And in conclusion, it was fun learning about them, and I didn't really know much about their